Jennifer's getting ready to hit the start button. She did. I have a request. In April, please put me either in front of Vivian or right after Vivian. Because if you were in here this morning, this place was packed, and it was like it was on HBO or something. So, and I actually, if she was in here this afternoon, I was going to ask her to join us because at least I know we'd get a laugh, or at least we'd. Oh, she is back there. Oh, I'm sorry. Viv, get up here. You always make me look good with your black hair and my white hair. So. I'm Mark Gannon, principal of Belfry High School, and I've got Matt Varney, assistant principal, with me. His name is Haridas Chandran, but we call him Doc, so we just refer to him Doc. Also, Mallory Williamson is also part of our ALL. She was unable to be here. Of course, we have Mary Beth Stiltner from the district level, and we have also one of our PE teachers that was with us today that actually sat in the wellness sessions this morning, which was a great benefit for us. So that's Nathan Coleman. What I've heard today, and especially this afternoon, has been a common theme of shared leadership. And our problem in practice really is no different, is focusing on our PLC. I take pride in the work of our PLC over the last 3 to 4 years. And we have, by looking at the pillars of the PLC from the before work, I feel like we've done everything from committed collaboration, committed time for our teachers, and then this year we're actually looking at the focusing on student results. So when we started thinking about this, I actually started thinking about this problem of practice before the July meeting at the Natural Bridge. We talked about how could we take a next step with our PLCs, other than it just being a 2 or 3 times a month meeting, focusing on maybe a checklist of things we want our teachers to do. We had the collaboration down. We had common assessment and common unit planning. So our goal now was to take it to the next level, and that was focusing on student results. So we invited an individual that's worked with KDE in May to come meet with our school leadership team. There's that shared leadership piece. And he actually came in and met with our leadership team in May, came back in the 1st of August, met with our host staff. His name is Todd Tucker, and he worked with Pulaski County. And he shared a protocol, PLC protocol, that they have used at Pulaski County, and that's what a copy that you have. We actually took it. I didn't realize the color was maroon because I'm colorblind, so one of our teachers actually changed the color to red. I think that is red. So all we did was change the name. I put our PLC motto at the bottom of that, and that's the only change we actually did that. One of our teachers took this, put it in a PowerPoint format, and uses it during the PLC. But basically what we wanted to do was take our work to PLC to the next step. So this year, not only do we have common planning with our core areas, but they're actually meeting once a week in those common planning time. And in the past, my goal was to make sure they met 5 hours a month. We did a 3-hour release at least once a month. They did after school or before school at least twice a month. And I'm looking at it, and going back again to the before work, is saying, get from your teachers from that 8 to 3:15, or we go from 8 to 3:15. So our goal was then, with this common planning's there, why not use it for the planning or the common PLC time once a week? So that's what a goal was, and that's what we have actually started this year. Not only did we change what we wanted to focus on in PLC, but we changed the format. We refer to this as the PLC protocol. And I will tell you, there are positives and negatives from our staff with this. We are looking at tweaking this come January. We're going to finish out the semester. But with our leadership, when we met in the end of July before school started, our leadership team, we come together and we said, okay, this is what we've seen from Todd Tucker. This is the protocol that he shared with us. What part of this do we want to keep? What part do we want to go with? And our team basically decided, let's start with it. Let's go with it as we get through the year, maybe at the end of the year or even mid-year. Let's change it to meet our needs for Belfry High School. And that's what we will do come January. So in April, this protocol will probably look a little different. When we would do our presentation, you're going to see the difference of that if we still have this same format to begin with. But the goal, I think, with our PLC this year is really taking ownership of our student success. And if you look at that, the protocol, you actually see the PDSA. And what is so ironic about this, our district has taken that PDSA to the next level. Not only they're working at the district level, but also with all of our schools with that Plan, Do, Study, Act. And if you see within the protocol, that protocol falls under that. So every week, our core classes or core subjects, and that's our math, science, social studies, and English, They meet once a week, and they review a unit assessment that they have given. If it's a multiple teachers, it's a common unit. And common unit, we're talking about common assessments, we're talking about common learning objectives or targets, and also sometimes common strategies, teaching strategies or student engagement strategies they have used. And they not only do they stand up in front of their peers with usually one of the administrators in the meeting with them, but they are going over this protocol, everything from identifying the standard, identifying basic, our focus for our school this year is reading, so they have to identify the reading strategies as well, and they go all the way down, if you look, goes all the way down to the plus delta, feedback from our students, also to students who are failing at the current time. So what we've done with that is, we feel like we've taken ownership of our students' success by truly naming those students that are struggling in our class. And Mr. Varney is going to talk a little bit about that, the plus delta and also the failure list, if you will.
On the failure list, what we do, we've really concentrated on that. Our teachers will get together, they'll make a list, they'll have whatever presentation they choose, it'll be up here on a whiteboard. They'll have a list of the students. They will have their percentages besides they get a 58%, they're barely failing. They'll have those listed. Other teachers will get to see this that possibly have had this student before and say, why do you think this student's failing? They'll just collaborate with each other and they'll say, I did this student was failing for me. I did this with him or her. Maybe it was something to do with at school or at home. And they've tried this and it's helped. They look at things like that. One big thing we're really concentrating on is calling home. Each student that's failing, we are making an honest effort of calling home. Each teacher, if teacher has 2 to 4, whatever amount of students that are failing in their class, they're calling that parent, they're calling that grandparent, they're calling whoever they're living with. You know, today's day they're living with different people and homeless as well. As I heard earlier, we have the same issues. But we're really concentrating on the failure list and identifying those students. Also, just another point in our PLCs, our principals are in every PLC. Mr. Gannon is mostly in all of them. But for some reason, he's not. One of our assistant principals are there. So we're making that honest effort to get there to make sure, and it's not to run the meeting. We don't run the meeting. We're in there. We may have some just some items that just school related we need to start beforehand to go over, but we don't run the meeting. They completely run the meeting, and we're just there just to make sure the protocol's going. And if they have any questions.
That's time, isn't it? Oh, that's it. We're done. Yeah. Any questions? Candy, if you say no. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.